This is the Sports Porch, Black and Gold, with your hosts, the Technical Director, the Grand Schwabini, and Hockey Jesus. Come on, Pittsburgh. Let's show a little Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates love. The Sports Porch Black and Gold starts now. Now, the Sports Porch Black and Gold edition starts right now on YouTube and on X. I am the technical director. I'm technically the guy in charge. Technically.
Okay.
This is the Grand Schwabini. This is the Grand Schwabini in the basement studios in Monroeville, as our friends in the media like to call it. And this guy down here, this is Hockey Jesus.
Thank you for your leadership, TD.
You're so welcome.
What would we do without it?
Right.
And I have to make a public apology before we even start the show. Okay. I apologize to our listeners and our viewers on the sound quality last week. Every week when we start this show, I have a checklist that I go down. It is in my head. I do need to write it down. I check these things, but these two jagoffs sit in front of me the whole time, screaming out insults, talking about my relatives,
I'm sure,
all kinds of stuff. And I forgot I had a technical issue and the sound got screwed up and I didn't do the final check.
You know what your problem is as a technical director?
Yes, please.
Do you think that anybody cares about the technical crap? Nobody had any thought about
They're here
last
for
week.
the talent.
What are you
Nobody
talking
had any
about?
thought about last week. Nobody was sitting there saying to themselves like, oh, I'm not going to tune in this week. That sound quality was horrible last week.
It was though.
It was more like,
and if they did say that, they're not here to listen to it.
It was more like Yin's guys here to sound it at, and they had down there in the Sports Porch that show, and that I couldn't even listen no more. I turned it off.
Bunch of basement guys.
Some irons, someone some irons.
I'm out of irons. If somebody could send me one, I'd appreciate it.
Now, listen, before you do anything, if you're watching us on YouTube or on X, please hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, click notifications. You'll know when we're live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We drop the podcast right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. And that's going to happen right after the show. I think I did say that. We look like we're having a way better time. That's technical director is ass. I am out of here.
I love it.
Steelers freak.
Great
knows talent when he sees it.
Great comment.
Bring it on. Yeah. We're all laughing and having a good time, and honestly, we really shouldn't be. Okay, and I'm gonna start with a little bit of a tirade here.
Oh boy.
Okay,
A tirade.
Yeah. He did it again. Okay, he did it to me. He did it again. Mike Tomlin.
You believe him.
Mike Tomlin did it again and again. How long are we gonna? And is there a smirk on HJ's face? I mean,
a semi-smirk.
He did it again. We started this year off with a bang. You bring in a hopeful. You blind us with words like collective and meaningful plays and impactful football and complimentary football. Thank you. And then we go through this dry patch and it looks like the world is falling apart. And then we rattle off 3 wins in which we look like maybe an NFL team. And then we go into Cleveland believing. And we lay the biggest egg I've seen in a long time
since last year.
That was a pretty big egg.
But listen, there were guys on the radio. Joe Starkey on the Fan last week said he believed that the Steelers were going to the Super Bowl.
I know.
That's how hopeful he got. Yeah. Listen, I'm
you
not.
can see why.
But I'm not.
Look at who they'd have to play right now.
I'm not throwing shade on what Starkey did. What I'm saying is he did it to him. He did it to Starkey. He did it to us. I mean, none of us were talking Super Bowl, but I was walking around work going, after all this, the Steelers, they could be dangerous. I was saying it. And look what we get. Look what we get.
I do believe that I was saying you never know what you're going to get.
That's very true. That's very true. You did. I'm not taking issue with any of you guys.
But even I did not. I really did not think that there was a chance they were going to lose this game. I really didn't.
I didn't either. And there are people out there like we say we should have seen this coming. I've heard a lot of people, and I want your comments below, man. I want your comments below. I want to hear how you feel about this game. Did you get suckered in by the Mike Tomlin thing?
Nope.
And why do you keep saying that? What did you say before the game? I don't remember. So
I didn't say anything before the game because we weren't texting.
Yeah. Were we fighting? Was there a fight? Or
No. It's just, I was amongst family and, I don't tend to pay attention with text when that's going on.
I get it.
He's giving himself to his family.
Yeah.
He's a family man.
Yeah. No,
as opposed to,
dude,
I get it.
You saw it. It's making its way around Facebook. We lose to the frickin' Browns every year in Cleveland.
Yep.
So why should I be surprised that the Steelers, all they have to do is win and they lose? Because that's what the Steelers do. They love to just lose games that they should win. And
love is a strong word for that.
No, they do. I think they really do. I mean, when was the last time the Steelers they can really take command of this division? When I don't even remember the last time that happened.
Well, like a couple games ago.
No, that was just like, we have to win this game or we're pretty much not going to win.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as it turns out, they probably could have lost that game and they'd still be in the same damn situation.
Yeah.
So that game really didn't mean anything either, did it? Not really. Not really. So I don't know. I've been through the ringer so many years with this team, with their 9 wins, with their 10 wins, with their, oh man, all we got to do is win this game and make it in the playoffs. Hey, we made it to the playoffs. Maybe we'll win a playoff game and then get smacked in the playoffs the very first game. Or, okay, we didn't make the playoffs, but well, at least we were in it till the end. I'm just so beaten down by it over the last 5 or 6 years. It's really difficult for me to say. I was really surprised that the Steelers lost to Cleveland last week.
Here's a theoretical for you, though, Steve.
Okay.
Would you rather the Steelers beat the Ravens and lose the first playoff game, or lose to the Ravens pretty handily? Tomlin gets fired, and you in a sense have a fresh start next year.
Well, the theoretical is theoretical because that would never happen. But yeah, I would rather a regime change. Yeah. I think it helps us to go 2-13 one year. 2-15 one year. But I just don't see that happening with this team, with this leadership, with these owners. It's just they love this mushy middle. It keeps just enough fans happy, just long enough. And that's what happens. Guys like me who are diehard Steeler fans just get beaten down or like, oh, well, okay, well, all we got to do is win this week and we're in the playoffs. Okay, that's good enough. And that's what happens to each and every one of us every week, every year, this time of year. We're just like, okay, one more win and we're in the playoffs. One more win and we're in the playoffs. Okay, we're in the playoffs. Man, maybe we're going to win that playoff game this year. Now, I do have to say that I'm numb for this game on Sunday, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
how the hell can you get excited for it?
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to go out and win by 21 points or if we're going to lose by 35 points. I just don't know. Honestly, I don't think anybody out there can honestly say out loud, I'm very confident we can beat Baltimore this week.
You never know what you're going to get.
Right? So you don't know. But you wouldn't be surprised either way. But the reality is, the way the AFC is setting up, and I sent you guys the bracket today, if they do get to play against the Houston Texans, honestly, I'm pretty excited about that. If the other two teams somehow manage to beat the Bills and the Chargers, that means you have if the Steelers win 2 games in a row, and that's a big if. Okay, that means that means they get to play against Denver. I'm just going to the Joe Starkey why he's saying he's excited, because then you get to play.
Let me just clarify. He didn't say that after this game. He said that last week before this game.
So now looking at how it all is set up, because the Bills lost.
Right.
They're the 7th seed. Chargers are the 6th seed. So those two teams could be out, and you're in the playoffs with us, the Denver Broncos, the Patriots, and the Jaguars. That's the final 4 in the AFC. Now, you're looking at that and you're saying we could go on a run here. Now, I know I'm way ahead of ourselves.
Does anybody out there think this could actually happen?
But that's the reality of it. Like, it's not like suddenly it's like, shit, we got to beat Josh Allen and we got to beat Patty Mahomes in consecutive weeks. You got to beat Bo Nix and Trevor Lawrence to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean,
well, but here's the other side of the coin.
Just the feeling.
Yeah, here's the other side of the coin is, let's say you're the Houston Texans, who is the team that you would prefer to play.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud.
They are basically saying, please, God, give us the Steelers.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I don't think Houston cares if they play Baltimore or they play us.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is
seriously.
The bottom line is anybody on any NFL team in that position is going to say, just bring on the competition.
Right.
That's normal. But behind the scenes, absolutely, they're saying, bring us the Steelers. It'll be a nice, easy warm up.
I don't know about that. I think I would, if I was playing, I would rather play against Baltimore and the Lamarless Baltimore Ravens at home. Their defense is much worse than
the Texans' defense is killer.
The Texans are a great team.
That's the problem.
Don't get me wrong.
That's the problem.
I don't even know if the Steelers would be favored.
Why would they be favored? The Texans, in my opinion, Texas
has gone on a run.
When we get at the end of next week and the playoff picture starts, and it's in focus, we'll have our playoff show. We might have a special guest there. Pat Off Track might be joining us for that. That could be fun or disastrous.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure.
As long as he's off track, it'll be fun.
Like, what exactly does he bring to the table? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping something.
This year, I think, is a good way to sum up life as a Steelers fan. Worse than a bipolar girlfriend going out on a girls' night with friends on a Friday night. You never know what's coming home to you.
Yeah. I experience
right on Steelers.
Are there going to be a couple guys with chains coming over?
I know what that's like. I went through a period of time in my life where that, and there were times when I was the girlfriend. Yes, I did just say that out loud. Okay, Texans by 6 at Pittsburgh, I think. Pat says he'll bring wings. That would be great. Didn't know you're flying into town for next week.
Yeah, are you coming in Pittsburgh,
come on,
Pat?
man. Come on, man. It's been a long time since we were banging on windows on Liberty Avenue on the night before Steve's wedding. Do you remember that?
I was a good man, and I went home.
The night before Steve's wedding, Pat Off Track and I got very, very inebriated
and went to Wendy's too.
And definitely. And we were walking up and down Liberty Avenue in Bloomfield, just banging on glass, not breaking windows, but just like banging on the glass.
Tracks.
And then
that actually tracks.
Yeah, it does.
For Pat Off Track and you.
Yes. Oh, totally. He went to Hawaii with me. We had a good time in Hawaii, though. Anyway,
can we get back to the Steelers?
Who cares about your trip to Hawaii?
I don't anymore. But Pat, I had a great time with you. Pat still sends me pictures of it. That's how lonely he is.
Isn't that what they say?
Meli
Kalikimaka.
Actually, that's Christmas time. Meli Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day.
Can we please get back to sports?
Okay.
It's really awful.
For the love of God.
Really awful. And I take full responsibility.
You should.
For bringing that on.
All right. So, let's hop off the Tomlin thing real quick. And I want to hear what you guys out in YouTube land. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, click notifications. You'll know when we're live. After every Steelers game, we're live. After every Penguins game, Hockey Jesus down there is live. And on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But I'm going to pose this on the ticker. You can blame you can blame one thing or person for the Browns' loss. Comment. Now you can't, like, it's gun to your head. You can blame one event, thing, person, scheme, whatever for this Browns loss?
I'm going to go with the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
I think the offensive plan to go against the Browns was abysmal. The only time they showed that they could move the offense was when they ran the hurry up at the end of the first half and the end of the game. They should have just ran that the whole game because it was effective and it would have worked. And they just decided to play this good old boys. Hey, we got 2 turnovers. We're winning the turnover battle. Let's run, pass short, incomplete pass, and punt the ball.
Okay.
Over and over and over.
So you're blaming. I'm
blaming the offensive coordinator's game plan for beating the Browns.
Okay. So we're getting a comment or two here, but Grant Schwabini, one person, thing, whatever.
Well, before we do that, can we just kind of all say, the number one is obviously Tomlin, so we're going beyond Tomlin?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, offensive game plan is the head coach.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it all leads back.
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. I thought he was really bad. Really, really bad.
You didn't think you don't think this was pass interference?
No. You know why? Because that's Denzel Ward.
Yeah.
Who's earned like 5 Pro Bowls, and you're not going to get a call on him with Valdez-Scantling.
Okay, I'm bringing it up because it's just the other side of the argument.
It's close.
I mean, lots of people think that is pass interference. It looks like his hand is right on his face and he's not looking at the ball.
But here's the biggest problem. First of all, on that play, Kenneth Gainwell was wide open for a touchdown in the middle of the field. Secondly, that was the 3rd consecutive play.
That's what you're talking about right there.
Yeah. That was the 3rd consecutive play that they ran to Valdez-Scantling, who's only been here for a minute. And he's only there because I guess Aaron Rodgers thinks he's got some sort of chemistry with him.
Yeah, he's been discarded by a lot of teams.
He's been discarded by a lot of teams. And you went to him 3 times in a row against one of the very best cornerbacks in the league. That's asinine to do. And what I'm saying is, now on one hand, you could say, well, that's, the offensive coordinator, but Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be Mr. Veteran. He can read defenses. He'll get out of that call and go to another call, find somebody else who's open. And he didn't do that. And I think, obviously, look, when you do a hurry up offense, everybody seems to move the ball down the field. But Freiermuth, who let's face it, Freiermuth and probably Kenny Gainwell are your 2 best receivers with DK Metcalf out. And, you didn't go to him basically the whole game until the end of the game when nobody could cover him over the middle. And we didn't even try once to go to him over the middle in the end zone, which to me makes no sense at all. And if I'm Rodgers, and you saw the pictures of Rodgers saying hey, I got this at one point of the game to tell the coaching staff to get out of his way. Well, if you're going to say get out of my way, then I'd like you to get out of a bad play call and get into something better.
Right.
And
good point.
And he just wasn't that good.
Good point.
I mean, look, there were contributing factors to it. Sure.
Yeah.
But I think he was bad.
This is interesting. Pat Off Track says they focused on not letting Garrett set the sack record. Now that's
I've heard that.
Yeah, and that's something I kind of brought up yesterday. But here's the thing. I
don't doubt it.
I blame Rodgers for that. And therefore I blame Rodgers. Well, hold on. I blame Rodgers for I agree with you, Schwab. I think that Aaron Rodgers, because there was a piece before the show where Myles Garrett said, if I get the sack and it's on Aaron Rodgers, I can't wait to put up a poster or a picture of myself sacking Aaron Rodgers, breaking the record, and Rodgers said, I don't want to be any part of that photograph. He was asked about that. And then during the game, you could see when he was avoiding Garrett, he was smiling at him. he was kind of jagging with him a little bit, you're not going to get me yet.
You don't want to get sacked by it.
Of course not. Of course not.
Exactly.
But
that's good play strategy.
My point is, and then you look at the offense, and the offense was almost that whatever that scheme was schemed away for the most part on any of the passing plays from Myles Garrett. And I really do think that game plan, and not necessarily because they didn't want him to break the sack record, it was more that they're afraid of Myles Garrett, and no matter what his sack total was, they focused so much on that they did not focus on anything else. Like Mark Tobin says, they were triple teaming him at times.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but it seemed to be almost constant. Their linebacker was limping to the huddle. How do you not throw at him and make him cover? That's exactly right. They were
did at the end.
At the end, right. They were so focused on keeping Garrett out of that backfield and keeping him away from Rodgers in all of the play calling that they made that Rodgers got frustrated and started doing he threw a go ball to Scotty Miller, and then I think we need to maybe think about,
are you going to play that video?
The genius.
Did you see this video of Arthur Smith and how he makes calls on 4th and 1?
Yeah, this is
real video.
Classic Arthur Smith. 4th and 1 call just from.
I told you, man. Look at that. Oh, are you getting this? No, that's crazy. That is crazy. He didn't do that. I think he did.
4th and 1. The greatest Arthur Smith call of all time.
For those of you on the podcast, we just saw somebody throw the ball out of the stadium.
Yeah. maybe George Pickens will come down with it in Dallas. So, this all leads back to the classic Tomlin trap game. It's that game.
Well,
where,
who do you pick, TD?
Who do I pick?
Ours.
I blame Mike Tomlin.
Okay, so you're taking.
I mean, I can't. And I know we said we set Mike Tomlin aside, but you can't set him aside. You can't set that aside. He did it again. He rallied this team. I have a feeling it almost seems to me like when they get into the position they were in, 5 games ago, Tomlin says, "All right, Smitty, Arthur Smith, open up the playbook." All right, Aaron, call it as you see it. And then they got a couple games and they look good. They rush for 150, 200 yards. Rodgers throws for 250 and a score. And you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, Tomlin goes, "Holy shit, we're playing Myles Garrett. All right, we got to rein it back in. We can't let this guy get there. We can't, blah, 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 blah. And besides, all we got to do if we lose this game is go beat Baltimore." And he lives for these freaking games.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with that.
He lives for these games.
Well, but even if that's the case, right? If you're saying that's the case, well, look, I mean, let's be real here. He wanted to win the game.
Yeah.
He
didn't want to lose.
Yeah, I mean, but and the other thing is, I mean, look, the bottom line is the guys were not ready to play.
That's the thing.
He didn't get them motivated to play that game.
I agree with that. And they didn't get the right strategy to be able to go out there and do it.
Right. And to be honest, the right strategy was working. I mean, Jaylen Warren was running the ball pretty well. And they ended up how many times did they throw? Was it 35, 40 times or something?
39 times.
39 times. So, what's the best way to keep Myles Garrett from getting a sack on you? Running the ball. Right.
And they did rush for 131 total yards,
24 attempts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Really, they probably would have done better if they ran the ball more. Do you know that they were inside the Cleveland 50-yard line, I think 7 times. And they got 6 points out of it.
Yeah. Unreal.
And I think what happened, they stopped. They stopped running the ball and they, tried to complete passes back.
Yeah, the red zone offense used to be good. Now it's I don't know. It's sus. And they did, they missed that field goal, but the reality is with the elements yesterday, you can't expect that Boswell is going to make it, a 50-yard field goal.
I don't think anybody's blaming Boswell for anything.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying that's what they've always relied on.
Right.
Like, okay, so we're over the 40. That means we at least got an attempt at a field goal.
Right.
And then they just relax, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Or they throw the ball 40 yards down the field when it's 4th and 1. And it just doesn't. That's why I say the offensive schemes. If they would have just been able to attack them early, gotten down the field quick, scored first, everything would have been fine. I think Cleveland would have folded. But the more you let them in the game, the more they feed off of that.
Yep.
And then you get what you got.
The one other thing before you mention this nice Mark Tobin.
Well, I want to invite him to hit that subscribe button. I'm new to this channel, but this is what I know. 2 different coordinators, same outcome on offense, 4 different quarterbacks, no passes in the middle. Who you think is making the decision? Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So thanks for being here, Mark. We love it. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. Schwaber.
Yeah. So the other thing is that the Steelers didn't do very well is they're not running their play calls to the talent that's on the field. Like, so for example, with that 4th and 1, look, I don't think any of us would have complained if that was thrown to DK Metcalf, right? We might have not liked the call, and if it didn't work, we might have come back and we might have said you only needed 1 yard. But we also know that DK Metcalf catches a good percentage of those, and maybe the thought was let's catch him napping and let's blow by him, right? For a guy who can make that play. But look, it's not like it's Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase out there.
True.
Right?
Exactly.
You don't have DK Metcalf.
Yes.
You don't have those guys. So you got to make a 1-yard play.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do in that situation.
Yeah.
And the pass wasn't a very good pass either.
No.
The one thing I'll say about the Myles Garrett situation, I will give it a little bit of credence because Gainwell only had 3 receptions, which means he was definitely helping out with blocking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very unlike them. And especially when, Kenneth Gainwell is your number 1 receiver on the team.
Right.
So when DK's out, you would expect him to step it up.
Right.
Well, instead they were using him to block. And I think that's where I have a problem, with the whole let's stop Myles Garrett. I don't doubt for a second that they did not want him to get the record against the Steelers for 2 reasons. 1, Aaron Rodgers didn't want a poster of it.
Right.
2, Myles Garrett made light of it by saying, hey, I'm going to blow this up and it's going to go on my wall. And 3, TJ Watt also has the record.
Right.
So they don't want him to get the record that TJ Watt already has. Although I guess they're all tied for it.
Especially, no. TJ's at 22 and a half.
Although to be honest, the way that I look at that, I think that's all just a bunch of garbage.
It is. I agree with you. I'm not saying that it makes sense.
It is. And I do think you're right. They probably did have some of those feelings mixed in there. But look, all I can tell you about Myles Garrett is this. Myles Garrett's a very talented pass rusher. He'll probably go into the Hall of Fame one day. But when I think of Myles Garrett, what I think of is a guy who got a lot of sacks on a team that never won anything.
Yeah.
So who even cares?
Kind of like another guy true.
Yeah.
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt. Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, in a way.
In fact,
that's a good point.
In fact, Myles Garrett has 1 more playoff win than TJ Watt.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's true.
Absolutely crazy.
Sorry, Steelers fans.
Well, I think Mark Tobin did subscribe, so I want to thank you, buddy. Click notifications every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're here on YouTube. And also after every Steelers game. This guy down here, if you're a Penguins fan, HJ, he's on the podcast and on YouTube Live after every single Penguins game, every single freaking one, okay? Even if it's a West Coast game. So if you're a Pens fan, if you like hockey breakdown, you want to tune in there. Peter Gazinia.
No,
everyone,
you know what that is.
Gonzinia. Peter
Gozinia.
Peter Gazinia.
Come on. Did you get it? Come on, TD. Come on.
I'm on another planet.
Come
right
on.
now. Yeah.
That's like right up our alleyway.
It is right up
Good
our
job,
alley.
Peter.
Excellent job.
Or it just could be an Italian name.
Yeah.
I think he is Italian.
Could you pass the Gozinia cheese, please? Sorry, buddy. Everyone wants to blame the offense. DK not playing and the sack record BS. It's a team. The media calls it a win as a team. but a loss as an offense. Steel curtain is gone. Blitzburg, Schittsburg.
This steel curtain hasn't been around for a while.
Here's it goes in you.
Yes, we understand Steelers.
I think they should trade TJ. Let's think about that later.
That's for the off season. Maybe they'll trade him for the number 1 pick from the Giants.
Listen, guys, keep commenting on who you want to blame. Keep commenting on anything you want to comment about here on the Sports Porch Black and Gold. We're grateful you're here. We love doing this. We've been doing this for 7 years. We are 3 guys. We've been together as friends for 35 years, arguing about sports the entire time. And we finally decided to turn it into a show a few years back. And man, we're having a great time trying to grow this YouTube channel. And we the draft is coming. We want to be down there. Get on the podcast. You can listen in your car on the way to work. We just have a good time doing this. So, this all plays into some stuff that I heard on the radio again today. And a lot of callers were calling in and they were saying, okay, so Big D, Mount Washington broke his arm. Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah, we finally put that one to bed.
Amen to that.
For now.
Now we can put better talent on it.
But let me get to my point, guys. Let me get to what I want to say here,
haven't stopped
which is the disrespect. It's unreal.
You having trouble relocating the thought?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, so the point is, all over the radio, I was hearing callers talk about this. Like, okay, Mount Washington broke his arm. DK Metcalf was out. Calvin Austin was out. You can't blame it on that. They wanted to stop Myles Garrett. This and that. You can't, but he was a team effort. A good team steps up and wins these games with the next man up attitude, blah, blah, blah. But you made a point that is a very good point. Everybody was saying, why weren't we throwing the ball to Kenny Gainwell? You brought that up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the reasons is they were thinking about Myles Garrett and using him more in ways to try to delay Garrett from getting into the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
There's your one problem. Your second problem is Washington, for whatever you think of him, he went down early in the game. There's another big body that could go on Myles Garrett. And so they had to adjust, and now all of a sudden that fear takes over, and Tomlin's conservatism is it's on full display, and they don't go anywhere.
I mean, I can give you I can give you something right off the top of my head, and I've got zero professional football experience. Why don't you take Casey Hayward and sub him in to block
Cam? You mean?
No, not Cam.
No, not Cam. The tight end who does the tush push.
Oh, Connor.
Connor Haywood. Okay,
right.
Connor Haywood. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Put him back there. Let Kenny Gainwell do his routes.
Yeah. Look,
you know what I mean?
Right. They did, and they didn't do that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't thinking. They were thinking more about Garrett.
And look, I mean, I do get it. Like, DK Metcalf is a huge, huge absence. Not having CA3 is an absence. Losing Mount Washington mid-game is an absence. But I'll tell you what they were not absent with is they had both of their star running backs.
True.
They had everybody on the offensive line was good to go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they've been playing well lately.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They've got 2 serviceable tight ends in Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith.
You got it.
Available to catch passes. Right. And they also have a guy named Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Who's supposed to be so good that he makes everybody look good.
Right.
Right.
And that didn't happen.
And it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Well, here's the thing.
And maybe that's old Aaron Rodgers. Maybe this Aaron Rodgers just doesn't have the ability to do that.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
Because I don't have the answer to everything.
You're not God.
I'm not. I never claimed to be.
He's just a technical director.
To be.
You're just a technical director.
I believe that there have been a few times in my life where I've been awfully close to God. Now, I don't know if I was in a waiting room being evaluated or he said, I'm not ready for you yet.
What is the GP trade not looking good?
The George Pickens trade not looking good.
Oh.
You know what, Mark Tobin, thanks for subscribing this round. I got to tell you, I don't know that Aaron Rodgers and George Pickens would have connected for anything more than what DK and Rodgers have already connected for. I think it's really hard to say that was a good trade or a bad trade, because obviously of the clinic that Pickens put on in Dallas, in spite of his antics there, still getting over 1,000 yards, looking like, showcasing his talents because he has a younger quarterback, which, by the way, they were on the number one offense in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think what that was at best, now that we look back on it, a lateral move. We're getting about the same production out of DK Metcalf. And we thought we were getting a better citizen, but
that's the big thing. You know what I mean? I know.
And I said it on a post-game show last night. I said it on the post-game show. I said, when are we going to get a freaking receiver on this team? A marquee receiver that doesn't constantly misbehave.
Well, CA3 is that person, but he's not very talented.
Right. Well, the
reality is most of the marquee receivers in this league have big egos. Yeah, and that comes with problems.
You don't see Jamar Chase. You don't see Jamar Chase getting upset about anything.
Well, because he doesn't have anything to get upset. They're not expected to win anything.
Yeah. Right. Well, I guess that's a whole different thing. This is
another ball of wax.
Right. This is Pat off track, reaching way back into the archives. The Honolulu grilling was the closest you've come to godlike standards, TD. That's we're in Hawaii back in the 90s.
How nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I do have one thing that I need to bring up from last week. I mentioned that I thought the team tanked once they got to 9 wins. I mentioned that I thought their record was awful.
Yeah.
And I said I would go back and look, and I did.
Yeah, I was hoping you would.
I did. I went back and looked, and as it turns out, I'm allowed to admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong in this case. Turns out the Steelers are 34-18 after the games where they make
where Tomlin is assured of not.
Sometimes it's one game, sometimes it's no games.
Well, but
most of the time it's only like one game.
Well, but you're also counting Roethlisberger times. What is it post Roethlisberger?
It's still pretty good. It's still about the same percentage. I did look it up. It's not that much different before and after Ben. So it's just the reality that I was wrong. I thought that the team. I'm going back to last week's rant where I said the team just doesn't play well after they get to 9 wins, and that's not necessarily true. So apologies to Mike Tomlin on quitting coaching after he gets to 9 wins. That is not true.
So TD, Chase spitting on people's not misbehaving. You want to know what Dick 8506? I stand corrected. You're absolutely right. They're all divas. You're right. So thanks for throwing that back at me. If you haven't, give us a hit that subscribe button, whatever the hell it is. This is something that
he got spit on.
Yeah. Will Howard is the next Big Ben, says Peter Gazinia. What's Yin's thoughts on Will Howard?
We don't know.
I have no idea.
Nobody's ever seen him take a snap yet, so we can't form an opinion on a fable.
Okay, so before we get to our picks, and then
I know one thing: we're not going to get to see him play this year.
So before we get to our porch picks for this upcoming NFL weekend, and we get to HJ some trade news.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Penguins. Yeah, I know. I was listening.
Stay tuned. I know all about the guy we got.
That's what we call a teaser.
Yeah, Columbus Blue Jacket. Anyway, so
CBJ.
See, I'm paying attention. Anyway, before we get there, I have no thoughts on Will Howard, and this leads me right down this road. They lose in Baltimore. Best opportunity for the Steelers to remove Mike Tomlin as coach. There will be lose against Baltimore because that game's here. There will be so much pressure. No matter how they lose 10-9. If they lose 45-42, there will be so much pressure from the media and the fans in this town that I call it. They have a mutual. Nobody gets fired around here. They have a mutual parting of the ways.
Well, there was a report today that he would step down and do TV for a year.
Was there really?
Yeah, there was one report.
Where was it?
It was on X. I read it. It was a fairly credible person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
he'd be terrible on television.
But here's the thing. You're asking about Will Howard. What is their plan? Okay, if by some miracle they win the Super Bowl this year, then they executed their plan and all bets are off, and who the hell knows what's going to happen. But even if that happens, okay, what is their plan?
They're drafting a quarterback in the first round.
They have no plan, and I've been saying they've been going to draft a quarterback in that round. They have been looking at
quarterbacks.
Absolutely,
the draft team's been hitting the quarterback.
I'm telling you guys right now, you'll hear the truth on the porch. We speak our minds, and more often than not, I think we're right about this because it's called tapping into the energy of the I don't know, of the universe or whatever you want to call it. But you guys knew I was going down that path. Here he goes again. But the point is that you didn't draft Will Howard to be your replacement quarterback. You saw that as an opportunity to get a quality young football player coming out of Ohio State, because Tomlin loves Ohio State guys, and you put him on the roster, and if he's an emergency backup, great. You have always, and they have always been looking at the draft this year, period. That has been their plan. Their plan is to reset and draft their next Ben Roethlisberger in April of 2026. And hopefully, God willing, we will be there to bring you that live at some point. But
I think the NFL
is it going to work? I don't know.
Or not.
Yeah, well, the NFL will be there, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. This isn't a Tom Brady story. Let's be real, says Mark.
Yeah, it's not.
Absolutely.
That's for sure, Mark.
Pat says the Bills will lose in Pittsburgh or Baltimore in the 4 p.m. game by less than a score. Book it. That's just because you're a Bills fan and you know they're a constantly losing franchise. I mean, look, O.J. Simpson was their biggest star before Jim Kelly and Josh Allen. All right, can I get an amen?
Not true.
Can I get an amen?
Let's just move on.
Yes, we're going to move on here. Before we do that,
I've seen two mock drafts, and this is the guy they take.
Who is
you hit your button?
Oh, I did.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Ty Simpson, quarterback of Alabama.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
He's heavy on the list.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the YouTube Sports Porch. This is the Sports Porch Black and Gold on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. If you haven't yet, you just joined us. Thanks for being here. I want you to hit that subscribe button, click notifications. You'll know when we're live, which is after every Steelers game, and also every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and Hockey Jesus down here after every single Pens game. What we're going to do now is, and we do drop it into a podcast. Can't forget to say that. Follow us on Spotify. What we're going to do now is we're going to do something we call Porch Picks. What is that? Well, every week we pick games. We pick a Thursday, a Sunday, and a Sunday night game. This week there is no Thursday night game, but there's a Saturday game, Sunday and Sunday night game. Last week, we all had the Chargers, so we lost that one. Steve and Mark had the Seahawks. I had the Panthers. Steve and Mark had the Niners. I had the Bears. I was 0-3. Steve and Mark were 2-1. So what's happening?
As we figured.
What's happening now? Porch Picks. Looks like the Grand Schwabini and HJ are tied at 27 and 26, and yours truly, the TD,
what a year.
Is it 25 and 28?
We can guarantee a co-championship
this week.
And a loser.
Our picks. I picked a Saturday night game. It is the Seahawks at the 49ers. This is a big game.
It is. It could be for number one.
Yep, this is a big game. So Seahawks at 49ers. I want to know what your picks are. Who won this? Mark and Steve won. Mark, you go first this time. Seahawks at 49ers. Who's your pick?
I'll take the 49ers.
I was going to go to Seahawks, and I'm still going to go to the Seahawks.
Right.
I think they're a more well-rounded team.
I think you're right about that.
But I mean, playing at San Francisco is a disadvantage. Purdy seems to come alive in front of his fans.
And I refuse to believe in Sam Darnold.
It's amazing.
It's a good reason not to.
2 straight years. two straight. Look, I'll tell you what, 2 straight years.
He's in the playoffs.
He looks good. If he can pull off a playoff victory that looks good, I don't know.
He does have playoff.
I don't know. I got to go with my Brock Purdy, my Hall of Fame guy.
Do you think, actually, since there's no shot for you to win, that you should just take the week off?
Shut the hell up.
No, he can think about what he's going to do.
Yeah, you guys, absolutely ridiculous.
That's going to be a really good game.
All right, your comments.
I'm excited about that.
Seahawks at 49ers. Comment your pick. Next game up here is
the other game's
Sunday
a play-in game, by the way.
Chargers, Broncos. Chargers at the Broncos. That's Sunday. They haven't determined the times yet, but my guess is 4
They
p.m.
did say today that Herbert is not going to play.
Oh, really?
So maybe we want to pick another game.
Now let's pick this game anyway.
Why don't we pick the two games where it's win and you're in?
Which game would you like?
That would be Carolina versus Tampa Bay.
Okay, let's do that. My goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to change this to is it Panthers at the Bucks?
I'm not sure.
All right, well.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'll just put Panthers, Bucks. All right, let's do that one. Panthers, Bucks.
Is it at the Bucks?
Comment your pick.
At the Bucks.
You're going to
99%.
You're going to have to figure that one out, okay? You're going to have to figure that one out. All right, Panthers, Bucks. Schwabini.
Am I basically it's Panthers at the Bucks. You are correct. I'm gonna go.
This is such a terrible
I know. I know. That's why I didn't want to pick it.
But it is for a playoff position.
Right.
Potentially.
Pat off track, Niners, Broncos.
The crazy thing
Panthers.
is, if the Buccaneers win, then it will be maybe like only the second time that a losing team makes the playoffs. Because if the Buccaneers win, they're 8-9, and then the Panthers go to 8-9.
Yep.
So I'm going to say that doesn't happen. I'm going to give a little love to those Carolina Panthers. I like the way they've been playing. I think they just ran into a buzzsaw in Seattle this past weekend. So I'm going to take the Panthers.
Tampa Bay has not been playing well.
No.
And I got to go with the Panthers, too. I don't like them, but Tampa Bay has just been god-awful.
All right, I'm going to have to go with the Bucks. All right, last game. This is the big one. This is for all the marbles, the Sunday night game. Go figure. I had a feeling we were going to end up picking this game. Ravens at Steelers.
Well,
let's go, Steelers Nation. If you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the follow button on X.
Now, we don't know if Lamar Jackson is going to play. It's about, I think
it doesn't matter in these games.
I think it's about 50-50.
Obviously.
Yeah, they said it was 50.
Obviously, it didn't matter against Shadur Sanders. I don't care who they put in at quarterback. Baltimore's got a chance to win, unless it's me.
Am I going first?
Yes, you are.
I guess I got to go Ravens. I'm only picking Ravens simply because I feel like these teams split every year, and the Steelers won the first matchup. So I'm thinking with Derrick Henry coming off like a 4-touchdown, 200-yard game, if they keep feeding him the ball, I think they'll win as long as he doesn't fumble.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's big.
Right.
That's big.
I'll go Ravens.
All right, Ravens.
Well, I picked them to win in the regular season. I'm going to pick them to win this time.
Steelers.
I had them at 10-7.
Listen, this is look. I hate to do this. I just hate picking this game. I gotta go. I gotta go with the Steelers because this is what Mike Tomlin does. This is what he does. It's all the marbles, and I'm going to throw the Aaron Rodgers. He's back in the locker room saying, "What in the hell was that game plan?" Blah 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 blah. So I'm going with the Steelers. Now here, this is a good one. B Sterling, if you're on YouTube, that's where you are. First of all, I put up your comment, so do me a favor. Click that subscribe button, hit notifications, come back every Monday night at 7 p.m. Watch our shorts, watch our TikTok, watch our reels. Does it really matter if they win? Would it be better to lose and not be embarrassed in the playoffs? Look, here's the problem.
That's the best thing.
Yes, but here's the problem. The problem that we have is that we are literally stuck in this bizarro world in which even if they lose, we do not see any change in the structure of that organization, meaning Mike Tomlin moves on, because they will have secured a winning season. And they have made very clear in the last few years that a winning season and maybe being in the race at the end of the year and getting a playoff game, that's the goal. Even though they kind of walked some of that back this year and said, well, the goal is really to win Super Bowls. Look, man, too late. You let the cat out of the bag a long time ago. Did you not? I mean, I see you're smiling. I mean,
no, it's true.
Right. So, even if they lose, we don't know if they lose, the perfect time to get rid of Mike Tomlin.
But you know what? It is also the perfect time for an extension on Thursday, because then it can stop all the talk.
Yes, exactly. And they will do that. They could do that.
They don't give extensions during the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Another
it would be after the season.
Yeah, after the
season.
season.
If they lose.
Yeah,
season's over. Time for an extension.
You got it. So that's the way that works, fellas. I'm sorry to say it, but
we've seen it before.
Okay, now listen, before we move on to our next segment here, which is going to be Hockey Jesus, I want you guys to know that it's a Sunday night game, okay? So once we're done with this, we're going to ramp up into a Sunday night game. The Steelers got to win. We want to see them win. We want to see that offense. We want to see that defense. Let's get into the playoffs, because then we have another week to have fun with all of this shit, okay? And then let's see what happens. So after the game next week, post game, you guys are in, right?
Of course.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Christmas is over, Schwab. We don't sing that song.
Jack Frost nipping at your toes.
I mean, why? Why?
Because Hockey Jesus is getting ready.
That's right.
It's a Christmas song for Hockey Jesus.
Yeah, Christmas song.
Yes.
All right.
Well, the weather outside is frightful.
All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. I have below me right here the world famous Hockey Jesus, the biggest Pittsburgh Penguins fan I've ever met in my life. He preaches on the podcast after every single Penguins game. He's live right here on YouTube, picking up a file and getting a lot of people watching the show now, Hockey Jesus.
Yeah, it's fun now that I do it live.
Yeah, and
shout out to MK.
We're going to let Hockey Jesus go and tell us what's going on. There was a trade today. The Penguins, I heard about it right before the show started. And this is a kid who, now let me sum it up real quick. This is a kid who got drafted in the first round about 4 years ago by Columbus, and he's not happy in Columbus. He's a Russian. My feeling is he did have a period where he scored 16 goals or something. He's had some injury issues the last 2 years, but it's kind of like you're bringing him in to. I think what Dubas sees is and Muse is the potential for this kid and how he might be able to fit in on a line with Malkin. At some point?
Partially correct.
Okay. Well, look, for me to be partially correct about anything with hockey, I give the floor to you.
It's a win.
I give you floor to you, Hockey Jesus.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are now playing 500 hockey. Let's start with that. And they did manage to eke out a win Sunday night at Chicago. I shouldn't say eke out a win.
7-3.
7-3. It was pretty much a
hat trick for
Brazeau. And almost a Gordie Howe hat trick for Noel Acciari. He just needed one assist.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He had the fight. He had the goal. Did not get the assist. But that's okay. They look really good. They came out. I think they needed those days off in between. They had 5 days off after the Toronto debacle, and they used them well. They took some time off, because of Christmas. Then they went right to practice. From everything that I heard about the practices, they were spirited, and they got some things worked out on the lines that they had been kind of jumbling together. Lizotte showed up finally, no longer on the IR. He's the glue to this whole situation. He's a fourth line center. When he is in, everything just falls into place. Now they still need Gino back on the second line, and you're not wrong, TD, by saying that they did go get Chinnikov to perhaps play with Gino. But the reality is they just need somebody else in that top six, so they're not having to steal the kid line and stealing from the kid line. Putting Tommy Novak up there on the second line is okay, and he does fine up there. I'm a big Tommy Novak fan, but he is soft. He does get mowed over. Igor Chinnikov is a big boy. He's 6'1", 203. You're not gonna push him around. So I think he fits that mold. He's 24 years old, so he's young. This is his last year. He does have a restricted contract, so they could sign him. They could re-sign him or send him to arbitration and keep him another year after this. They basically didn't get rid of anybody. They already put Dan Heinen. He's in Columbus now. They already put Heinen on waivers, so he was already in Wilkes-Barre. But they really just sent a second and third round pick to Columbus to take a shot at Chinnikov. I'm okay with Chinnikov, but he's not going to play very much. He's a right winger and he shoots left. I do like that because when you're coming down on a breakaway, or even if you're playing that right hand side, to get a one timer is just, I think it's just sweeter. You get more whip on your slap shot. He did score 16 points back in 23, 24 in only 53 games. He's a minus player for his career, so he's not a very good two-way player. That's why I that's the only thing about him that makes me think that they're just taking a flyer in case somebody gets hurt. Like, if they lose Rax or if they lose Rust for a little while, rather than bring up a guy, they can put Chinnikov on the first or second line because he does have the talent. He just hasn't really showed it much lately. And maybe they get a bargain, or maybe he's not anything and it doesn't really cost you anything.
Yeah. He's a flyer, not a Philadelphia Flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's a flyer. He's just a fill-in spot. Honestly, he's
kind of like low risk, high reward.
I don't think there's any high reward with this guy. I don't think think he's going to score like Brazeau's been scoring, and that's surprising, by the way. But Brazeau scoring all these goals is an absolute. It's unforeseen. Nobody thought that he would get 15, 20 goals this year, and he might.
Well, all I'm saying is that the guy is a former first round pick. So anybody who's a former first round pick has talent.
You don't trade for anybody but a first-round pick, honestly.
Right. So, I'm just saying he's a guy who hasn't put it together. He's from a different country. You got language barrier problems. So, maybe you catch lightning in a bottle. You probably won't, but maybe you will.
And maybe it's true. Maybe they can't put him on a line with Gino. They can speak Russian out there. And everything flows. Yeah. They can make fun of all the other players in Russian.
The puck of Guinea.
Did you hear the way I think this guy Charlie Borges described it on the Fan? He said it was a magic bean straight. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It was kind of like we're going to throw the beans out the window, and then it grows into a beanstalk.
Dude, this guy is not that good. Don't just pump the brakes on Chinnikov being the next Kevin Stevens.
He's Wayne Gretzky.
He's all Igor from Mother Russia.
All right, Hockey Jesus. When is your next Hockey Jesus?
The next Hockey Jesus is exactly Tuesday.
Exactly Tuesday. You will see Hockey tomorrow. Jesus after who are they playing tomorrow?
They're playing at home versus Carolina. It's a 7:00 game.
It's a 7:00 game. Okay, so Hockey Jesus preaches.
I might be a little later than right after the game. I have some dinner arrangements with potential future in-laws. So.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Have you been asked?
No.
You have not been asked. Okay.
I don't really.
Has anybody else been asked?
They don't do that anymore.
You sure? You never know. Okay.
Well, I mean, if they don't ask, then, is it worth it?
Then slap them around a little bit.
Yeah.
You're supposed.
He's already paying the rent, so that's good enough in my book.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's money. It always comes down to money.
Sugar daddy.
Always. Comes
so anyway, it might be running a little late, but I promise it will be tomorrow night.
Really?
All right. Hockey Jesus preaches on the podcast and live on YouTube after every single friggin' Penguins game, no matter what. You can see him there. Go to the YouTube page at the Sports Porch Podcast. Click subscribe, notifications. You'll know. That bell will tell you when we're live every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and when he's live. I do this because I'm pointing at him, but actually he's down here, but we're all together here. So thanks for being here. What the hell are we watching? That's what's going on now. What the hell are we watching? And Grant Schwabini, would you explain to everybody out there what that means?
Will.
And if you don't have one, I know you don't have one tonight.
I don't have one.
It's cool. It's cool.
Here's the deal. We know we feel your pain when you can't find that right show to watch, and you're looking around forever. There's so many choices, so many channels to choose from. Peacock, Paramount Plus,
The Cock,
Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime. The list goes on and on and on, and you don't know what to watch. And worse than that, you're afraid that if you make the wrong choice, your significant other is going to look at you with that side eye. Guess what? You don't have to worry about that no more.
No more.
The guys on the sports are going to tell you 2 thumbs up if it's a winner and it's a lock, or 2 thumbs down if you should stay away. The rules are you must at least finish the season if it's a series.
Right.
Doesn't have to be the entire show, but has to at least be one full season. And if it's a movie, you have to watch it to the end. You can't just walk out and say it was terrible. We take the suffering on for you. That's what we do for you because you're such a great audience to us. That's the way we give back, and we're damn proud to do it.
That is right. And this week, we don't have one from HJ, but this week, the Grand Schwabini watched
Untamed. Now, has anybody
on Netflix? Right?
Yeah, any of you fellas watched this yet?
No.
I think I started watching it, but I'm not going to say anything.
I don't even know what it is, so I'm very
this
excited
is actually
to hear about
really
it.
interesting. I didn't know this until I went on today to get this little picture for you from the writer of American Primeval.
Yeah, which was a great show.
Which was a great show.
That was excellent.
And from the writer of The Revenant.
Yeah, which I never saw.
Which is really good.
I know. I don't know why I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So this was just a 6 episode. Pretty much has a beginning and an end. It is coming back for a second season, which is interesting because it really would probably have to be a completely different story in a second season. But I thought it was really good. It was, look, at first I was a little hesitant to watch it. Amy wanted to watch it because she likes crime type stuff. Right. But I thought that, it was better than your typical crime type thing. Like there was a lot of strange stuff going on in this, national park. And what was it? There was a girl who disappeared, and, how did that happen? And was she alive? Wasn't she alive? Then, the guy who's like what's his name? Eric Bana, I think.
Eric Bana.
Yeah, he's like he's actually a federal agent that works with the park and works with the rangers, and he had also lost a child in the park, and there are a lot of questions as to what happened to his kid and what happened to his kid's killer and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of moving parts in this, and it was quite intriguing. And there were a few turns that I didn't see coming. So I always think that makes for a pretty darn good show. So I would say it's a 2 thumbs up from the Grand Schwabini.
Oh, okay.
And look, it's 6 episodes. You can watch it real fast.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so real good. Untamed
on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Your TD binge watched something new on Netflix.
I saw this. I wasn't sure.
The Abandoned.
I didn't know if I could believe these beautiful women as Westerners.
Yes, that's I and Gillian Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this you told everybody in the description of what we do here that we're going to give you a 2 thumbs up or a 2 thumbs down.
Usually,
I love Westerns. It's funny that. You brought up American Primeval.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite, if not my favorite Western on Netflix anyway, of all time. The cinematography, the story. The Abandons is about 2 women struggling for control over land in Washington Territory, Washington State in the mid 1800s. There's silver mining rights involved. Gillian Anderson is basically the matriarch of the town and in charge of the mining company. Now, here's the twist. Did women in the 1840s run companies? No. But her husband was the owner of the company. He passed away and left it to her. And she had 2 sons and I think a daughter. 2 sons and a daughter. The other woman, I can't remember her name, but she's fairly famous. She is part of an Irish immigrant clan that kind of moved into this land near the territory or near the town of what's called Angel's Ridge, and settled there. There are like 3 other families that came in, not related. And Gillian Anderson, it's called the Hollow. They want the Hollow for the silver, and they get into the classic battle. And in the beginning, it was hard for me to get through exactly what you were talking about, which is having female leads in a Western. And it's, look, you could say misogyny all you want, but that's just the way it was. It's not about like, this is ridiculous. It's more about like, can I buy into these characters? So the story,
and not only that, but they're beautiful.
They are beautiful, but you know, look, it's Netflix, it's Hollywood, it's whatever. You get over that. Yep. So it did end up having a grittiness about it. The backstory with Gillian Anderson inheriting basically that business and grooming her sons to run it. The backstory with the other woman coming over. There was a catastrophe in her life and she relocated her. And then they're called the Abandons because she had no children. So these younger abandoned people would show up to settle up there and she would take them in. So you have this dynamic of fighting and motherhood, and then everything else that comes along in a good Western. If you can get through the first 2 episodes, then the story becomes more compelling and it's worth watching. But I can tell you there are going to be quite a few people who are going to have a very hard time getting through the first 2 episodes. But if you can stick it out and you appreciate a good Western story, and it's in Washington territory. Everything we know about the West is like New Mexico, California. I've never seen a show that was shot in there. So they reference Seattle and smaller cities. And
how many episodes is it?
I want to say it's 6 episodes. And like I said, if you like Westerns, it ends up being a good Western. Absolutely. So I give it a 1 3/4 thumbs up because I'm not sure about that first 2 episode thing. I don't want anybody coming back to me and saying that show sucks because I warned you about the first 2 episodes. They don't suck. They're just hard to.
You got to buy in.
They're just hard to buy.
It's hard to buy in.
Yeah, that's about where I'm going to cut us off. Yeah,
makes sense. Better the stuff.
Yeah. So anyway. This has been the Sports Porch, Black and Gold Edition. You've been watching us on YouTube. And if you haven't already, I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to click the bell, the notification, so you know that we are live every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to drop the podcast right after the show in the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. And we're going to see you after the Steelers game on Sunday night. For the post-game show. I'm your technical director for the Grand Schwabini sitting right there. For Hockey Jesus, who is down there right now. How do we switch spaces on the screen here? For Hockey Jesus down there, who we'll see on Tuesday. That's it. I am out. You guys have a great week in that.
Jablons.
Peace out.
Jablons. Bad news. Hit that subscribe button. Love you, man. See ya.